A storm upon a storm hurricane unleashes a tornado. Florida, a state accustomed to the fury of hurricanes, faced an unprecedented threat. Hurricane Artemis, a powerful Category 4 storm, was already battering the coast with torrential rain and howling winds. As if the hurricane wasn't enough, a terrifying new danger emerged from the storm clouds: a tornado. This unexpected twister tore through a densely populated area, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The tornado, a rare and terrifying phenomenon to occur alongside a hurricane, amplified the danger exponentially. Residents, already bracing for the hurricane, were caught off guard by the sudden and violent arrival of the twister. This dual threat, a hurricane spawning a tornado, became a stark reminder of the unpredictable power of nature and the importance of preparedness in the face of such extreme weather events.
Chaos descends. Eyewitness accounts of the terrifying twister. The deafening roar of the wind was the first sign for many that something was terribly wrong. The tornado, a dark funnel cloud descending from the storm clouds, touched down with terrifying speed. It was like a freight train, recounted one survivor, describing the sound of the tornado ripping through his neighborhood. The house started shaking, and then the roof just disappeared. Another resident, huddled in her basement with her family, described the terror of hearing the tornado approach. "We could hear things crashing and breaking above us," she said, her voice trembling. "We just prayed it would be over soon." The tornado, cutting a swathe through the heart of the community, left behind a scene of utter chaos. Homes were reduced to rubble, trees uprooted, and power lines lay tangled like fallen spider webs.
Picking up the pieces, the devastation left in the tornado's wake. As the storm subsided and daylight broke, the first rays of the sun revealed a scene of utter devastation. The once vibrant and bustling community now lay in ruins, a stark contrast to the peaceful dawn that followed the chaos of the night. The true extent of the devastation became horrifyingly clear. Buildings that once stood tall and proud were now reduced to rubble, and the landscape was marred by the scars of the tornado's path. The tornado had carved a path of destruction through the heart of the community, leaving a trail of broken homes and shattered lives in its wake. The sheer force of the storm was evident in the twisted remains of what was once a thriving neighborhood. Leaving behind a landscape scarcely recognizable, the tornado's fury had transformed familiar streets into scenes of desolation. The once picturesque neighborhood was now a haunting reminder of nature's unpredictable power. Homes were reduced to piles of debris, their walls and roofs torn apart and scattered across the ground. The personal histories and memories that these homes held were now buried beneath the wreckage, a poignant reminder of the lives that had been upended. Their personal histories and memories scattered amongst the wreckage. Family photos, cherished mementos, and everyday items lay strewn across the ground, each one telling a story of the lives that had been disrupted by the storm. Cars were tossed aside like toys, mangled beyond recognition. Vehicles that had once been a source of mobility and freedom were now twisted and broken, a testament to the tornado's unrelenting power. The air was thick with the smell of damp wood, insulation, and the lingering scent of rain. The heavy, humid atmosphere added to the sense of desolation as the community began to grapple with the enormity of the task ahead. The once familiar streets were now impassable, blocked by fallen trees, power lines, and debris. Navigating through the neighborhood had become a daunting challenge as residents tried to make sense of the chaos that surrounded them. Littered with downed trees, shattered glass, and twisted metal, the streets bore the brunt of the tornado's wrath. The destruction was everywhere, a constant reminder of the storm's ferocity. The tornado's raw power was evident in every direction, a stark reminder of nature's ability to unleash chaos and destruction. The community was left to pick up the pieces, facing an uncertain future as they began the long process of rebuilding, a stark reminder of nature's ability to unleash chaos and destruction. The path of the tornado was a testament to the unpredictable and often violent forces of nature, leaving behind a community forever changed. Amidst the wreckage, however, stories of survival and resilience began to emerge. Neighbors helped neighbors, coming together in the face of adversity. The bonds of community were strengthened as people reached out to support one another, sharing what little food, water, and shelter they had left. Acts of kindness and generosity became the norm, as the community rallied together to provide for those in need. The spirit of unity and cooperation shone through the darkness of the disaster. The spirit of community, though shaken, was not broken. Determined to rebuild and recover, the residents faced the future with hope and strength. The road ahead would be long and challenging, but the resilience and solidarity of the community would guide them through the difficult times.
Section 4. First responders race against time. The immediate aftermath. As soon as the immediate danger passed, first responders rushed to the scene, their hearts pounding with urgency and determination. The air was thick with the acrid smell of smoke and dust, and the sound of sirens pierced through the chaos, signaling the arrival of help. Their sirens wailing through the shattered remnants of the town, these brave men and women knew that time was of the essence. Every minute was critical in the search for survivors trapped beneath the rubble. Firefighters, police officers, and paramedics worked tirelessly, their faces grim but determined, driven by the hope of finding someone alive. The scene was one of organized chaos, with first responders coordinating their efforts amidst the devastation. They used heavy equipment to clear debris, their trained eyes searching for any sign of life amidst the devastation. The sound of machinery and the shouts of rescuers filled the air, creating a symphony of urgency and hope. They used heavy equipment to clear debris, their trained eyes searching for any sign of life amidst the devastation. Each piece of rubble moved could mean the difference between life and death for someone trapped below. The rescuers worked with a sense of purpose, knowing that their efforts could bring relief to those in desperate need. Field hospitals were quickly set up to treat the injured, ranging from minor cuts and bruises to more serious injuries caused by flying debris. These makeshift medical facilities became a lifeline for the wounded, providing immediate care and stabilizing patients before they could be transported to more permanent medical centers. The medical teams worked around the clock, their dedication and compassion a beacon of hope in the face of tragedy. Doctors, nurses, and paramedics moved swiftly and efficiently, their hands steady despite the overwhelming circumstances. Their tireless efforts ensured that every injured person received the care they needed, no matter how dire the situation. The coordinated efforts of these brave men and women, putting their own lives at risk to save others, exemplified the very best of humanity in the face of disaster. Their heroism and selflessness shone through the darkness, providing a glimmer of hope and a reminder of the strength of the human spirit. In the midst of such devastation, their actions were a testament to the resilience and compassion that define us as a society.
Section 5. A community in shock, stories of loss, resilience, and hope. The tornado struck without warning, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. The community, once vibrant and full of life, was now a scene of chaos and destruction. The sheer force of nature had turned their world upside down in a matter of minutes. The days following the tornado were a blur of activity and emotion. People were seen moving through the wreckage, their faces a mix of determination and sorrow. The initial shock was overwhelming, but there was no time to dwell on it. There was too much to be done, too many lives to be salvaged. Residents, still reeling from the shock of the event, began the daunting task of picking up the pieces of their shattered lives. They worked tirelessly, clearing debris and repairing what they could. The sense of community was palpable as everyone pitched in, offering a helping hand wherever it was needed. Stories of loss and heartbreak emerged. Each family had its own tale of tragedy, each more heart-wrenching than the last. The pain of losing loved ones was compounded by the loss of homes and cherished memories. The emotional scars ran deep, and the road to healing seemed long and uncertain. Families mourned loved ones lost in the storm, their homes and lives irrevocably changed. The destruction was not just physical, it was emotional and psychological. The sense of security they once had was shattered, replaced by a lingering fear of what the future might hold. The emotional toll of the disaster was etched on the faces of those who had lost so much. Their eyes told stories of unimaginable grief and suffering. Yet, even in their darkest moments, there was a glimmer of hope, a spark of resilience that refused to be extinguished. Yet, amidst the grief and despair, there were also remarkable stories of resilience and hope. People found strength in each other, drawing on the bonds of community to get through the toughest times. They shared stories of survival, of small miracles that gave them the courage to keep going. Neighbours helped neighbours, sharing food, water and shelter. Acts of kindness were everywhere, from the smallest gestures to grand displays of generosity. These moments of compassion were a testament to the human spirit, showing that even in the face of disaster, people could come together to support one another. Volunteers from surrounding communities poured in, offering their time, skills and compassion. They brought with them not just physical aid, but also a sense of solidarity and hope. Their presence was a reminder that the community was not alone in its struggle, that there were people willing to stand by them and help them rebuild. The human spirit, though tested, proved to be unbreakable. The community's resilience was evident in every act of rebuilding, in every story of survival. They faced each challenge with determination, refusing to let the disaster define them. Instead, they chose to define themselves by their strength and their ability to overcome. In the face of unimaginable loss, the community found strength in unity, compassion, and the unwavering belief that they would rebuild their lives and their town. They knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but they were ready to face it together. Their story was one of loss, but also of resilience and hope, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit.